Greetings and salutations, fine people. I'm Patty Alvarez. Welcome to The Good Soul, a show where we'll have supercharged chats with everyday humans from all walks of life and unpack what in their story will inspire us all. We'll extract the untapped wisdom, distill it, and serve it up to you in all the right ways that will engage, enlighten, and most of all, inspire growth within your soul. I think people are awesome. So join me on this journey through the hearts and minds of ordinary people to uncover the good soul within you. This is The Good Soul. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Good Soul. We're on episode 37. I'm happy to report my wonderful, amazing friend, Sandy Mari's here. Welcome, Sandy, to the show.
37 episodes.
I know.
Big deal.
I know it is. And 37 is a good number. I like the ring to it. So the theme of today's episode is creating lasting change, inspiring us all to help, and coming off the kind of the wave of success that Sandy has experienced with her husband and their family in all of your experience with your education, being a parent in his career with the NFL, they have decided to start a nonprofit, which is now celebrating 5 years.
Yeah,
Going on 5 years. It's called the Mari Foundation, and we're going to get more into who, what, where, when, why, and how. But basically, Sandy, why don't you give us a little bit of a summary of what the goals of the foundation are?
Sure. So we started thinking about this during COVID, of course. All these bright ideas came up during that time.
All the things happened during COVID. Yeah.
We decided we wanted to really try to do this ourselves. We shopped around for a little while to see like where we wanted to focus, and we decided on the children's homes of Iredell County, and I'll go into why later. But and then we just picked a model that we knew was successful. My husband had been participating in an event down in Florida for about 20 years every year, and their foundation and event that he participated in was hugely successful. And
same type of nonprofit?
Yes. Slightly different, but yes.
Okay.
Where they included the kids in the event like we do. And we wanted to kind of do something like that and obviously have it grow each year to maybe be even more like that. I mean, ours is probably a 10th as successful as theirs is, but
that's all right. It's
huge.
A 10th. A 10th is a big 10th from what I'm seeing from your numbers. Right. And we'll learn more about that too towards the end of the show.
Yeah. And we didn't really know what we were doing or even how to start it. So we reached out to the NFL provides a lot of help for people who want to do things after they retire. And there's a program called the Players Philanthropy Fund. And we reached out to them to kind of help us because it was like, here's what we want to do. We don't know how to do it. You know, we reached out to some people who have also had foundations and have done it before. And they got us started.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. I remember asking somebody else, we know Brad Maynard. I remember asking Karen, like, does the NFL provide education or does the NFL provide career incentives for players who are retired? And apparently there was like an Ivy League school that did something.
My husband did it. Yep.
Was it Harvard?
It's Harvard.
Yeah. And what was the program?
It's like a continuing business course that you can take, and you go there. He got to go there and be on campus.
Cool.
He loved it. Yeah,
I love it. That's really cool.
And and you get to pick like what you want to focus on. There was like entrepreneurship. I think one was real estate. I forget. There was a few.
Yeah.
And I think he picked the entrepreneurship one, just how to start business, how to invest, how to get kind of started. And
ooh, that's really cool. I'm like, I want to know more. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, you have to apply to that. And I helped him write his essay.
Aw, that's cute. That's adorable.
And he got in. That's right.
Well, the big thing, I think the biggest purpose of the show is really to inspire people through our stories and to make everyone understand how not difficult certain things are. Yeah. So I want first for this segment, we just have about 5 minutes left. I want people to get to know your background a little bit more and kind of make them understand why you guys
Sure.
qualify, and it's why it's so easy for them to kind of do something like this. So
Sure.
tell me about, first of all, your background, where you grew up, where you went to school.
So my husband and I met at Syracuse University,
Okay.
college sweethearts. That's right. He went straight into football after that. And so we together got to participate in a lot of these kind of fundraisers and foundations. A lot of athletes have that kind of platform. So we got to see all different ones. My background is psychiatric social work. So I worked as a therapist in group homes, in hospitals, and I got to really be in the trenches for a little while. Then I started having kids and we started moving around, and I focused on being a stay-at-home mom at that point.
Very important job, Sandy.
Yes, and I've gotten to see, like I said, in the trenches and really see the need and how easy it would be for people to help.
Right.
Moving around a lot made it hard to do our own things. So we participated in a lot of our friends and a lot of his teammates' things for a while. And then, like I said, during COVID, he had retired and we were here. We knew we loved it here and we knew we wanted to stay, and we decided to focus on something ourselves.
Is it overwhelming? And can you give me an example? Well, especially back in the NFL days, like underprivileged children, underserved children, and pets, and veterans, and there's so many options. How do you choose? How do they present it to you?
So the good thing about not doing your own thing at the time was we got to participate in all of it. You just kind of show up. It was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah.
You're the hero for showing up and putting in a few hours of time. So he's participated in, like you said, veteran things, pet things, and then lots of children things, really. A little bit of homeless, but a lot of like foster care and things like that.
Okay. Can I just switch gears for 1 second? I have to tell the Luke Kuechly story because it's my favorite. So Sandy fosters animals.
I forgot about this.
And you came downstairs. They were going fishing. You said you were like in your bathrobe or something.
Well, it was like 5 a.m. and I was the only one up. I was in my pajamas. I hadn't brushed my teeth. I was drinking coffee, and we were fostering a litter of puppies. And of course, the kids want to help. They say they'll help. But, at 4:30 in the morning when the puppies are up and they need to go potty, nobody
wants to do it but mom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting out front, drinking coffee, having the puppies play and go potty. I think I had just cleaned up a mess too. I had like poop on my wrist. And Luke was coming over to go fishing with my husband.
Like every middle-aged woman's dream to walk down to Luke Kuechly in your kitchen.
And I look up thinking like there's a car pulling in the driveway, and it was him walking up, and he was so sweet. And I had the bright idea of, oh my gosh, I'm going to ask him to hold some of the puppies and take a picture and post it and try to drum up some, interest in adopting the puppies. But most of the people were asking if he came with the puppy.
Yeah. I asked my husband, can I leave the dog and take the man? That was probably one of my favorite post comments that I still go back on your page to find it to show to people because it's so funny.
It's was hysterical. A good sport. He took a picture for me.
Well, that's adorable. All right. Well, good. So let's just, we're going to wrap this up. I don't want to get into a whole nother topic. So we have a basic idea of the why. Yeah. So next we're going to get into what it took to create the nonprofit, because I think a lot of people need to understand. I know I would want to be mentored in what it would take to pull something like this together, because it's not for wimps. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, guys. We'll see you for segment 2 on The Good Soul. This segment of The Good Soul is brought to you by Aaron Fisnick, certified luxury home specialist with Ivester Jackson Christie's International Real Estate. Aaron serves all levels of the greater Lake Norman region real estate market, and whether buying or selling, she is very much the lady who will deliver like no other. Many of us at Good Soul are also really happy clients. Aaron can be reached at 704-728-5657 or reach out to me and I'll get you guys connected. Thank you, Aaron Fisnick, and thank you guys for tuning in and supporting The Good Soul. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Good Soul, episode 37. I still can't believe it when I'm saying it. So funny. I was watching Joe Rogan last week, and he's on episode like 2155. And I'm like, wow, I can't wait to get there. Someday, hopefully, I'll sign a $19 million contract with Spotify. Wouldn't that be nice?
Put it out there.
Putting it out there. Cha-ching. And yes, Bill just said in my ear, take me with you. No problem, Bill. You're right behind Manny, you and Manny. Anyway, all right. So creating lasting change and basically inspiring us all. And what you said earlier, I always say this to people. We're always donating baskets and free months, and they'll say, oh, thank you so much. And I always say, no, thank you for the opportunity to make it so easy for me.
Totally.
Right? Like all I have to do is Venmo the foundation, the payment, and I show up, and I get to have a delicious buffet and a cocktail and a beautiful night. So, so thank you guys.
Yes.
So with all the choices that you did have upon his retirement, COVID, what inspired you to go in the direction you went?
Probably because that's what I had the most experience in. We were already fostering animals on our own. And I guess just we have 4 children, and I have the experience with children. We knew the need, and I had worked in foster care in the state of Florida, but not in North Carolina. And when I started investigating a little bit, just the statistics like blew me away, really.
Okay.
And we just kind of both agreed at that point, you want to pick all the things, but we agreed that we needed to really focus on one thing if we really want to try to make it successful and work. And so we agreed on
Do you have any statistics or information that you want to share that will...
I wrote some down. These are the ones that just really blow my mind out. So there are 12,000 approximately children in foster care in North Carolina, and children in the age group of 10 to 17 represent only 10% of adoptions nationwide. Like, let that sink in.
So they stay in foster care.
So basically, everybody wants the baby. Everybody wants the young child. But once they get to that age bracket of 10 to 17, only 10% of adoptions nationwide. And then after reaching the age of 18, 20% of the children who are in foster care will instantly become homeless. Let that set in.
How does that even happen?
Right. Well, because in foster care nationwide, you age out at 18. Now, when we started this, we had kids around this age, and like thinking about putting them on the street on their own. Yeah, with no family support, no financial support, nothing. It's so.
How are the relationships between the homes and the foster children? Because this is what I'm trying to figure out.
So
if I had an 18-year-old in my house,
homes, you're done. It's over.
Yeah.
Like it's over. But this is why we picked what we picked, and I'm going to go into that.
Okay.
3% of children who have aged out of foster care will actually earn a college degree at any point in their life.
3%. Yeah.
I mean, think about how low that is.
I wonder what, and we can fact check this after, but I wonder what the percent is otherwise for every other population. What percentage of kids go to college?
This one killed me. 7 out of 10 girls who age out of foster care, in other words, were never adopted, they just age out, will become pregnant before the age of 21. 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I wonder what percentage go on to have the children. And do they?
It's very cyclical. I don't know the number, but I know, having worked in foster care, that in the few years that I worked in foster care, I worked with a teenager who aged out, and before I was done working, her kids were in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very cyclical.
Yeah. Okay. One other question is, what percentage of foster kids are in like state-run homes or county-run homes versus private homes? Do we know this?
I don't know that. And I think it varies a lot state to state, because some states are better at providing more options.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're not called, what were they called? Like, what was like an orphanage is what Little Orphan
back
Annie
in the
was
day,
in.
they were called orphanages.
We
Yep.
don't have orphanages anymore.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. We have group homes, and
Yes,
they
that's what
are
they're called.
very similar. And that's why we chose this particular organization. So we can touch on that. I think I have
Okay.
like 2 more statistics that will blow you away.
Yeah, no,
Um,
do tell.
25% of children who age out of the foster care system still suffer from direct side effects of PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And within 4 years of aging out, 70% will be on government assistance and 50% will be unemployed.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
my husband and I decided, like, we want to end this cycle. It's
Yeah.
so cyclical. These kids become adults. They make the same mistakes. They have children. Those kids get into the system. And it continues and it continues and it continues. So instead of just giving gift baskets and throwing money at the problem, it was like, how do we get upstream
Yeah.
and figure out how to break this cycle?
Yeah.
So, like, what are some of the barriers that we can try to remove? And where can we provide the care and the support that these children need to have so that we can stop it?
Well, and not just the children, but moreover, the systems that are in place and
Right.
the people that are. So you were talking to me recently about wanting to perhaps go back into the workforce or maybe do something. Your kids are getting older.
Yep.
I think you're onto something here. I mean,
Well-
to create some type of consulting like this, there is such a need for that.
Yeah.
Like just hearing you say this, why is this happening? Because I'm assuming that all the people you're dealing with at these homes and within these government agencies, they're probably lovely enough people. They're probably not
yeah.
being neglected or being, abusing the kids in any way. They're probably all
well, if
hardworking.
anything, they're being neglected in their pay. I mean, these state-run facilities, the homes, these people do the job just like teachers. They do it because they love it, because they're passionate about it.
Yeah.
They're not paid well. They're not getting rich. They're
Yeah.
not getting breaks even, like, when you're a house parent in a home or even a foster parent, you're on 24/7,
Yeah.
like a parent.
Sure.
It's
so they
tough.
live, but then they have to go home. They all have like families of their own. So they stay for a certain amount of time.
So we chose the children's homes of Iredell County as basically our primary recipient because they were the only one around here who have designed, instead of just licensing people in their home for foster care, they have had homes donated to them.
Okay.
In the 1980s, just a group of people who lived in Statesville found out just that when kids are removed in an emergency situation, right here in our community,
Mhm.
let's say there's an emergency situation, they're removed. If they can't find a foster home, guess where they went?
Where?
To jail. It was
Ooh.
safe.
Yeah.
It was,
A
they
bed,
had food and water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these
Well,
children
where else would they go?
who
I mean,
are
think about it.
scared
Yeah.
crapless out of their minds go
Like their
to
father just got
jail.
arrested. Their mother.
They were beaten. They were molested. Whatever.
yeah.
They get removed and they don't get to go to like a safe place. Like
Yeah.
they went to jail. So anyway, this happened or was happening, and a group of citizens just raised money and bought a house
Okay.
and said, let's use this house. And that's how basically the children's home started. They now have, I believe, 5 homes up and running that are owned by the children's homes. Then they employ house parents that live there. They live there. This is their home. They don't go home other than for their breaks. So some of them stay with a friend. Some have an apartment, different situations. But their primary home is in this home. And the beauty of these homes they are sort of like, we talked about before, like an orphanage.
Mhm.
They don't have to leave. So the kids that come to these homes are a little harder to place, whether it's,
Behavioral.
could be behavioral issues, but it could also be a sibling issue. So it's really hard to place 2, 3, 4 kids that are siblings together, right? That's
yeah.
a really hard to place population.
Right.
So sibling groups can come to the homes and stay together.
Right.
They are separated by sex, so there are boys' homes and girls' homes for obvious reasons.
Completely boys' homes?
Completely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's not like the East Wing, the West Wing,
nope.
anything like that?
No, the homes aren't that big. Yeah.
Yeah. And about how many like people per home does it average?
I think, I want to say there's 8 in one.
Okay.
There was like 6 in another.
Have you gotten to visit the home?
Yeah, we've gotten to visit all the homes.
Wow. And how many are there?
I believe there's 5 right now.
5.
Yeah,
okay.
they had to shut one down briefly, and I think that it's back up and running.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
But the beauty of this is, so not only are they the harder to place populations of kids, but once they go, they don't have to leave.
Right.
You know, a lot of times
do they go to
kids
school,
bounce
like
to
high
foster
school?
homes, you know, foster home to foster home. This can be their home until they're 18.
I see.
And here's the next beauty. A new home was just opened, and they are allowing the kids to stay from 18 to 22.
Oh, okay.
Unheard of in foster care.
That's really awesome.
So there are homes now, they get a little more freedom, but they do have to sign a contract where they will be drug tested.
Yeah.
They have a curfew, you know, just like a regular home. There are some rules. So they can choose to leave at 18 if they want.
Okay.
And they can choose to stay. But then they're helped with, like, how do I get a credit card? Right. How do I buy a car? How do I, you know, sign a lease on an apartment? How do I go grocery shopping for myself? How do I become a real adult? So, and they help them apply for jobs, apply for loans, all these kind of things.
Okay. The questions are like blossoming
as
you go. No, that's good. That's good. We're going to wrap it up for segment 2. We'll bring it back in segment 3, and we're going to pick up just where we left off, guys. So don't go away. We'll see you in a few. Join our friends at the Mari Foundation for the 4th annual Harvest Moon Ball. This massively impactful event will include a silent and live auction, food, and an opportunity for you to give back in a place that will have tremendous impact. All the proceeds will support the children's homes of Iredell County that houses and nurtures foster children in our area. The event will be held at Trump National Golf Club on November 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. You can find them at themarifoundation.com, where you can purchase tickets or just simply donate. Just know that your presence would mean the world to them, and more importantly, the world to the youth that they serve. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 37 of The Good Soul. This is Creating Lasting Change with the magnificent Mrs. Olinda Mari. I know. I love how Beyonce says, Mrs. Sean Carter.
That's right.
I'm Mrs. Manny Alvarez. I don't have a name. Anyway, the name of the episode, again, is Creating Lasting Change. And I just love the way Sandy and her husband are literally putting their money where their mouth is, and not just talking, not just showing up, but you're creating.
We're trying.
We all, you are doing it. You're literally doing it. We all have the power to do things like this and any of our chosen passion projects. And rather than scrolling Facebook or getting so wrapped up in Netflix or whatever we use to suck up our time, we could be doing great things like this. So I'm really proud, and I'm honored to have you on to talk about all this stuff. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right.
Any
so we
excuse to gab with my girl.
I know, really. I know. Every time she's here Tuesday and Thursday at the studio, and it's like every Tuesday and Thursday. You have to go into class. I'm like, wait.
I know.
Wait, I just want to talk to you. Don't go teach class. Anyway, so let's get back. So we left off where you were talking about, and I think this is fantastic, that it was problematic for these young people because at 18, they were kind of getting thrown out into the wild, ill-equipped to function in society, and things weren't going so well for some of these foster children. Yeah. So they upped the age, you said, to 22 years old. Mm-hmm. So are they helping get them through college, through trade schools, that sort of thing?
Yeah, they're helping them secure employment, financial literacy, job readiness training, GEDs if they need help with that. We have one youth that they helped obtain U.S. citizenship and a work permit.
Fantastic.
And they also continue to help with reunification of bio family if that's possible.
Okay.
You know, they'll
even in their older years.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me something, and this is a big question that I have. Do they get to go to traditional middle school, grammar school, high school? They do sports. Do these homes and these people like support their careers as athletes, as musicians, if they're playing the clarinet for the, you know, the school band.
Everything that they're able to do, they can do. Each house parent has a vehicle that fits everyone. And they're driven to, you know, some have to go to different schools out of the area for various reasons. Like there is a couple schools up in the Statesville area that help with kids who have a little more emotional or behavioral challenges. And they go to those schools and they're driven there. Others can just go to the public school right nearby. And yeah, therapy they're driven to, lessons.
I need braces. I need to go to urgent care. I have a fever, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you don't think about all the stuff that goes into being a parent and raising a human being. Family life.
Memories now, everything. So just,
well, that's what they're getting. They're getting all of these things.
That's
a really great
feel
point.
Of a family, because they're together.
So, in other words, there are no Miss Hannigans at these homes. These are like nice. Miss Hannigan was Carol Burnett in the movie Annie and the play Annie. But no, they're like nice. They're not.
Sweep the chimney.
No hard knock life.
No hard knock life. Thank you. That's, I think, what you were looking for. You want the place to shine like the top of the Chrysler building. I think it's what you were looking at.
I mean, they teach them, I think, chores. They all participate in things like any family
home
system.
Most of them, at least. As much as we can get our kids to do chores, right?
They don't have to drag them by the ear like we do to get them to take the garbage out.
Or me taking the garbage out. Wait. No, last night it's like 9:05. I don't know if you know, they switched the garbage in our neighborhood from Thursday to Monday. It's like 9:05. He's already in bed watching the Dallas game. I'm finishing up watching you know what. And I'm like, oh, the garbage has to go out. I go in. I'm like, Squeaky, Molly's fiance. They live with. I'm like, Squeaky, are you in bed yet? It's garbage night. You think he got out of bed and helped me take that garbage up?
Stinker.
Well, I was, in his defense, I was kind of like, so I'm sure like these are the things though that it's like, do you want to fight? And I'm sure that they're dealing with these same challenges because human beings could be lazy by nature. If you're in bed, you don't want to get out of bed to roll the garbage up our ski slope.
They're not allowed to keep their rooms messy. You know, beds need to be made. And
you hear that, Molly?
I know. I know.
You hear that?
I know.
I'm not the only nut job.
I know. But that's really cool. Yes. Basic life lessons. Yes.
Yeah, I would just love to, and this is what I love about your event, which we're really going to get into in the fourth segment.
Yeah.
I wish we had a kid with us that we could talk to who would be so receptive to having this conversation with us.
They did have the speakers at their...
They do. Well, that's
the idea we stole actually from this other event that we would go to every year down in Florida. They always had like graduates of the program come back and speak. And I mean, there was not a dry eye in the house. Every year, you were so inspired by these kids who were now young adults. And, you know, of course, it pulls at your heartstrings and then hopefully your purse opens up and you get more donations because also you want to see that it's working.
Absolutely.
So we just kind of stole that idea from them. And we have the kids who want to, you know, every year they're asked who wants to do it because it's a big deal for a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kid to get up in a room full of 200, 300 people.
At a country club.
And
and everybody does.
And they're sharing something that's very personal.
Sure.
You know, I mean, last year we had a 14-year-old girl who had a 1-year-old baby already, and she spoke about her life. And we've had, all kinds of stories. We've had a young girl who was sex trafficked by her own father. And
did you get to meet her?
I have met her, yes.
Tell me about this story, because you mentioned to me during show prep.
She came from Guatemala with her father, who was then put into prison for sex trafficking her when she was little. And she went right into the system. She didn't speak a lick of English. You know, she had no family. Her dad, who she trusted, was now in jail. And she is a wonderful success story. She has obtained citizenship, a work permit, graduated with honors, is in college, working towards, I mean, she has such high dreams. I think she wanted to be a lawyer at one point. And I think now she's thinking about being a social worker. I mean, just, yeah, like such
Can
a
you do me a
success story.
favor? Can you do me a favor and can you define what sex trafficking looked like for her without getting into obviously any uncomfortable detail? Because this is a term we're hearing a lot lately. What exactly did that mean? Did he move her here and he was kind of selling her to people?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I don't know a lot of details other than
That's basically the gist of it. These are real human beings.
Yeah.
These are real people.
She didn't know where she was being, taken. It was just, she was very young when this happened too.
Did the father end up in jail? Whatever became of him?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
That's how she ended up in the system. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
And not speaking any English. Can you imagine how scary that is? You're in a brand new country. You didn't know where you were going.
Yeah.
You just were exposed to some horrible abuse.
Yeah.
She was little when this happened.
Yeah.
And then you get put in home with strangers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't speak any English. So
that's why I want to come in.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's awesome that she overcame it. This is where I really would love to just get in and see and feel what these homes are like and what can I do? What can we buy? What can we decorate? What can we provide activity wise?
And it feels so good.
That's what I was going to say to you.
There's the philosophical age-old debate of does altruism really exist? And do people really just do good things to do them? I don't think it does because you get so much out of it. It feels so good. I mean, one year we did Christmas and we delivered Christmas presents and my husband and I were the ones able to go and deliver them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't tell you how good it felt to see these kids get their presents and be so appreciative. And a couple of the houses, they decided to do cute cookie wars and they baked Christmas cookies as a house.
Yeah.
And we had to taste test them all and pick which was the best.
Sandy, I was lucky enough to do that. You had given me a list and
you
said,
you did. Oh my gosh,
and it was
that's
wonderful.
Right.
Yep. You gave me the list and I would love to, I would love to, if you want help in that.
We didn't do it last year, not because we didn't want to, because somebody else got there first.
Okay.
And took over and was doing it, so it was fine. We stuck to our event.
We're going to wrap this up. We have 10 seconds till our next break. So guys, we'll see you for segment 3. I still have so many questions. So guys, don't go away. We'll see you for segment 3 on episode 37 of The Good Soul. Mwah. This segment of The Good Soul is brought to you by Aaron Fisnick, certified luxury home specialist with Ivestor Jackson, Christie's International Real Estate. Erin's not only an amazing agent, but she's also an amazing friend to me with a diverse mix of happy Lake Norman clients, each with their very own unique circumstance and challenge. She's a one-of-a-kind boss lady who I endorse wholeheartedly. Erin can be reached at 704-728-5657 or reach out to me and I'll get you guys connected. Thank you, Aaron Fisnick, for adding your magic to all of your real estate transactions. And thank you guys for tuning into and supporting the show. We are eternally grateful. Mwah. Big kisses. Welcome back, everybody. This is The Good Soul, episode 37, Creating Lasting Change. Let's get right back into it. So, talking about so many things to do with the Amari Foundation, but most notably, of course, underserved children.
Yes.
So we went through how you guys met, how the passion
Our
kind
sweet
of
love story.
Your sweet love story. Well, that's a whole nother episode, right? We didn't get as much into it as we should have, but also, of course, taking on. I mean, this is a big thing that you guys have taken on. It's important work,
bigger than we realized. I think. My husband and I tend to have that ADHD trait where we just get a little impulsive and jump right in.
Yeah.
But thankfully we had good people to guide us.
Yeah.
Because accounting wise and tax, all that kind of stuff, I was super overwhelmed. I am not a numbers person. So fitting under the umbrella of the Players Philanthropy Fund has been very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know. I remember I have a friend who has a nonprofit and a couple of friends who were helping her. And they're like, okay, you got all this money. Now you have to be very careful what you do with it and how you manage
especially
it.
when you're like a public figure of any kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're under a microscope.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, let's talk about the Harvest Moon Ball.
Yeah.
So this is the main, once a year, you have an event. And let's just get right into it.
So November 17th of this year, we're doing it. It's held every year so far at Trump National Golf Club, Charlotte. And that's because they have been so wonderful giving us like kind of bottom line pricing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want this to grow on behalf of us and they love supporting the community. So we get a great deal. And they're super helpful too, even just with like helping me set up stuff. Like they'll send over an employee or two to help set stuff up. It's just been really great.
Yeah. Is it the same girl that does the weddings, the pretty brunette?
Yes.
Yeah. What's her name again?
Elena.
Oh, so sweet.
Yep. She's so incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
So we do it there every year. This year it's November 17th. Doors open at 6 p.m. We have a huge auction with like all kinds of obviously sports paraphernalia.
Yes, of course.
Jewelry, some cutlery,
sports memorabilia.
Yes, all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
So that's fun. And then we have a live auction too. We're still working on a couple of things that we're going to have in the live auction, some cool things. And then it's just a really nice night where it's quick too. It's a delicious dinner. You get to hear a little bit about the children's home and why we chose it. And then we always have a few of the kids come up and speak for a few minutes, kind of detailing their experience and their story. And it's like such a tearjerker moment. Mm-hmm. And you also realize how easy it is to help and to do something. There are so many people that want to help, want to do things, and they don't always know what to do or how to do it. And it's like the perfect opportunity.
Sure.
And here you get a nice fun night out of it too.
Of course. And it's not just the kids though. You had, I feel like 1 or even 2 adults. There was a man there last year.
Well, we have the head of the children's home, Kevin Angel.
Okay.
He'll speak. And then we have either kids currently in the program or a graduate. Graduate kids who come back or are still associated, still helping. Last year, we had one girl who grew up in foster care, graduated, is living a beautiful, successful life, and has now come back to work at the children's home.
Wow! Ooh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, so she came and spoke and shared a lot of really personal details, but it's wonderful to hear too, like in detail what helped them. And how it helped them. So then, we had a couple people just sitting out in the audience who were like, I have a company. I'd love to take an intern. You seem like a great kid, just silly things like that.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
oh my goodness.
So we've had some great success with stuff like that.
That's awesome. All right, so tell me more about this event and what can people do to get to the event? Is there a website?
There's a website. You can go to our website, which is themarefoundation.com, and it's Mare is Mare. It's spelled like themarefoundation.com, no spaces. And as soon as you log on, you can donate, buy tickets, buy a table, whatever, and it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You show up, you find out what table you're at, and have a great night.
Okay, so it's $150 per person. You can also, and there's also all kinds of sponsorship levels.
Yep.
I don't have it with me, but you can also sponsor a table. There's all kinds of things that you can do. You can find that information on the website. But also remember, too, if you're just listening to this on the podcast, if the event has passed, if you're listening on WSIC, you can also go on the website and just donate in general, correct? So if somebody wanted to donate $25 or $5 or $100,
absolutely,
you can do that too.
We've had $25 donations, and this morning we had someone send us a note saying they're sorry they're unable to make it, and they donated $5,000.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's really great.
I know.
Thank you.
So
it's so inspiring when that happens too.
Sure. Yeah. So if you're listening to this episode and it's December of 2026. You can still donate to the Mare Foundation. So just know that. So just this really curious, just again, as somebody who's kind of got an entrepreneurial mind, what kind of dollars does an event like this bring in?
So to date, and I don't know the exact amount, but I know I believe to date we have raised about $130,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Bravo. That's Manny clapping in the background.
Yeah. So not at one event, but over
Of
the
course.
years. Yeah.
Over time. Okay.
So, I mean, I have big ideas for this year. I'm really hoping to
people dig
bump
deep.
it up more.
People dig deep. Well,
and
that's
it's a
always
great
the goal.
time of year because you can buy cool things at the auction for Christmas presents. It's also
cool things now.
Yes, cool things.
Scorpio.
And then it's also just nice time of year when people like to give, during the holidays.
Of course.
As they approach. The only thing that makes it hard for us is a lot of our friends who are still in the NFL. It's during season, so they can't come.
Yeah.
But we're getting old.
I was
Most
just
of
going to
those-
say.
Most of those friends have retired. Yeah. Some of them are coaching now, but
Yeah. Okay. So, and then who then, like, how does the money get filtered? Like, how do you decide what goes to where? You
So
just hand them a check.
It's held in under the Mari Foundation, which is under the umbrella of the Players Philanthropy Fund.
Oh, okay. So it is. So it.
501(c). Yep.
Okay.
So they hold it for us, which is great because they, account for everything. Because I would be so afraid to make a mistake, accounting and taxes and all, just all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yep. And then we decide when we want to present a check. My husband and I bought one of those big, silly, giant checks.
Yeah, I know. The picture is on your website.
Yeah, we have a picture on the website.
Yeah.
And we take what we can. We always keep a little bit in the fund just to keep it going.
Mhm.
And because we have to pay for next year
Yeah.
before we've earned money. So some of the money from last year is helping to pay for the event this year.
Right.
And that's it. And then we take the check and literally we didn't do any bells and whistles. We just go, we arrange a good time, we take a picture for the website and present it to them.
No,
And,
that's a
yeah.
beautiful story, though.
Yeah.
It's just, I think for me, what's the most like interesting, thrilling part is the house, is being able to really go and kind of like what Manny said, like you're building memories, you're building a life for these people, and regardless of who we are and where we came from, if the story is compelling and there's love infused and there's caring adults around us, despite the most challenging of circumstances, like the most beautiful things can come out of that.
Absolutely.
And you're facilitating that, and we can do that as a society.
You're helping us.
$25,
to do it.
$150.
Yeah.
A table for $5,000, whatever it is. I mean, it's really not a very complicated proposition.
No, it's not. Like, if you just want to donate money, it's great. We'll take it, and then we'll let me add this too. We'll figure out where it needs to go. And that's what I love about the children's home is we don't just hand them a check and typically say, here. They say, where would you like this money to go?
Mm-hmm.
So we have said, a certain home needs repairs. We want to put this amount towards that. We want to put this amount towards education. We want to put this amount towards birthday presents. We want each kid to have a cake on their birthday. Simple things like
the things that our kids take for granted.
Totally. We did gift cards for Christmas. So, and they're great about it. Like, they don't just take the money. They want to know, where would you like it to go? And I love that. I mean, it feels really good.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you hear these stories about, this one was sex trafficking, that one was abused, this one. I heard a statistic recently, and I can't remember what book it was I was reading, but that most people who come out of situations like that, or many, catapult it into greatness, that it's not always a tragic story. And like you were saying, how can we harness these systems? Like, what can we do within these homes? How can we structure the workflow, right?
Yes.
So that
these are great kids who got dealt a shit hand, you know, and so
oops, bleep,
a bad hand.
He'll bleep it out.
Yes,
it's only one. Oops,
and it's like with some support, we can stop the cycle.
And they
can continue on. I mean, the statistics
Well, you
I
know
think
one
that I was
story, the
reading.
girl coming back.
Yeah.
The girl coming back to work, yes.
Yes. We have several kids who have graduated from living in these homes, have gotten degrees, and have come back to either volunteer or to work. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. And you hear, like, I was just at a fundraiser for victims of sexual abuse. And they say, you know, there is no socioeconomic boundary, that sexual abuse happens everywhere.
Yes.
And all
look at the Menendez brothers.
Well, look at the Menendez brothers. Exactly. Great example. So, but there is kind of in the foster system a socioeconomic disadvantage, and that most of these people are tremendous, like low income or whether it's crime, whatever it is that they have to kind of endure as children and watch their parents endure. So we're out of time. I mean, there's so much to talk about. It goes too quickly, but thank you for making a difference. Yes. Thank you for inspiring this episode. And I hope that somehow y'all you're inspired by this, not only to participate. Again, it's the Mare Foundation, MARE Foundation. You can also find Sandy at the Good Soul, right?
That's
you can find us at the studio.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I'll be promoting the event over the next week or two. But guys, not only the Mare Foundation, but any opportunity you get to make a difference in somebody's life, it really doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't.
And the biggest thing of all, and I was thinking this at the fundraiser last week, like we always say when we hear these stories, we can't get our head around it.
I know.
How do people like sexually abuse people? How do people physically abuse people?
How does it get to this point?
So it happens, right? And if you or anybody you know has either suffered or somehow has become the abuser, get the help you need, like seriously. Mm-hmm. And if you can't find it, text me or call me. And if I can't help you, I will get you the help you need, right? I mean, and it's people like Sam. I mean, it's true. Keep coming back, guys, and we're going to keep doing what we can to just shine the light. Sandy, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you right back.
Tune in, like, subscribe, share, follow, and we'll just keep delivering you the good stuff. So, guys, thanks for tuning into The Good Soul. We love you. Peace.
Bye.